The endless quest of humanity, the story of civilization rising from the ashes. The story of humanity begins with a spark that has never gone out: curiosity. A curiosity so powerful that it pushes us to question our place in the universe and reshape the very ground we walk on. All our tales, all our discoveries, every civilization we have ever built, each one is woven around this driving force. The world we know today is the result of that quiet, relentless journey of curiosity that has lasted millions of years. Part 1. Standing Tall, the first step toward civilization. Our story symbolically begins when our ancestors stood upright on the African savannas. This wasn't just a change in posture, it was a decision that changed the entire course of human history. Walking on two legs saved enormous amounts of energy. We could scan vast landscapes, spot danger from afar, and travel farther with less effort. But the real miracle lay in a simple detail. Our hands became free. For the first time, we were no longer just observers of nature. We were participants shaping it. We sharpened stones, shaped wooden branches, and made tools. These early primitive tools marked the beginning of our long relationship with technology. But evolution always has a price. The narrowing of the pelvis meant babies had to be born earlier. This increased their dependency on parents. Thus, what began as a biological challenge transformed into a social advantage. Strong family ties, cooperation, and early forms of community life emerged. And for tens of thousands of years, humanity thrived, using nothing but stone and bone tools. This period is so unimaginably long that all modern technology we know today takes up only the last 1% of human history. Part 2. Leaving Africa. Humanity's Great Migration. Eventually, our ancestors began to look beyond the horizons of the savanna. New lands, new waters, new possibilities. Around 60,000 to 70,000 years ago, small groups left Africa. They spread into the Arabian Peninsula, then into Asia, Europe, and even across oceans to reach Australia. This journey was not merely geographic, it was cultural. Every new climate, every new landscape reshaped the human experience. Our skin tones, languages, and facial features changed, but our roots remained the same. Even as we spread across the world, we continued to share the same ancient story. Part 3. The Silent Revolution of Agriculture, Planting the Seed. Then, around 15,000 years ago, a turning point arrived. The climate warmed, glaciers retreated, plants flourished. Animal herds gathered in certain areas, and humans began staying in those places longer. We were no longer just observing nature, we were learning to direct it. Finally, we made a decision that would change everything: the shift to agriculture. We planted seeds in the soil and learned to grow them. We domesticated animals, villages formed, homes appeared, and for the first time people settled down. Agriculture didn't just change food production. It transformed the very structure of society. In hunter-gatherer groups, people were relatively equal. Everyone shared similar roles and hardships. But with farming came surplus food, and whoever controlled the surplus controlled the power. Thus emerged social classes, division of labor, leaders, and military structures. Humanity created hierarchy for the first time. But this new life came with its own hardships. Close living brought disease. New pathogens spread. Physical activity declined, diets became monotonous, and the overall health weakened. Yet the agricultural revolution laid the foundation for civilization itself. Every modern city and social structure we know today traces its origins back to those early fields. Part 4. Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. One region became the grand stage for humanity's next chapter. Mesopotamia, the land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. These rivers enriched the soil with fresh silt each year, creating ideal conditions for permanent settlement. Villages dating back to 6,500 BCE evolved into the first true cities: Uruk, Lagash, Eridu, and many more. Here, not only cities but also the great ideas of humanity were born. Administration, trade, temples, division of labor. Cuneiform writing first appeared merely to track goods, harvests, and taxes, but eventually it recorded myths, laws, prayers, and epics. The human voice became immortal. Then came the great powers, Sumer, Akkad, the Gutians, the Ur dynasty, the Elamites, Babylon, Assyria. Each one rose, ruled, and eventually faded into history's cycle. But every civilization left something behind. Laws, engineering, trade systems, military structures, beliefs. Mesopotamia was like a vast laboratory for humanity. We tried, failed, rebuilt, and tried again. Civilization matured step by step.